Okay.
All right, and Haley, I actually have a couple housekeeping things before we get started, not to cut you off, but
yeah, go ahead.
Welcome everybody to our call tonight. Just so everybody knows, this is being recorded. We have to do our standard disclaimer that the call is being recorded and it will be posted for those who can't make it or those who want to watch it again on our Let's Talk landing page. Please ask questions tonight. If you have them, feel free to put them in the chat. We have people who are watching the chat that will be able to answer questions as we go, or if we're going to get to it later, we'll let you know about that. And yeah, other than that, we'll have time at the end for open questions too. And I'll hand it back over to you, Haley.
Perfect. Well, hi everyone. I'm Haley. I'm a former volunteer, now ACS staff person on the UAS team. So happy to be here. We're going to be talking all about reports, autoresponders, sending and creating those emails on your website, and all the resources that you'll need to help you through that. So I think we can kick it off. As a review from last call, we talked about getting access on this lovely form here. But to walk you through it again, we will link this form in the chat and also on our acsresources.org website. So on this form, you'll find the training requirements you'll need on that step 1. If you've already completed the training once, you can just log in and complete that form. You don't have to do the training courses year after year. If you don't know where your website ID is, there's a link to walk you through that and where to find it on that step 2. But if you didn't have access to the EMC in prior years, you can enter that request here on this page at the same time. So you can request the 2023 websites and 2022 and 2021 if you need to also. If you need the former website ID of past years, do ask your staff person. The website access is super important as we get into reports that I'll talk about in a second. But once you fill out this report, access generally takes 3 to 5 days for our ACS website team to grant you access. Sometimes it is faster. So do watch out for an email from ACS IT once you are granted access. So as we are there, you'll hit submit. And if you have questions going through that EMC access form, do ask your staff person or ask one of us at a later time too. So once you get access after those 3 to 5 days, we can start with reports. So to get to your EMC, you will sign in to your respective Relay for Life website. And once that loads there, you will see that you do have access to the EMC because it'll say my account on that type right and then my event manager. You're going to want to go ahead and click my event manager. And this will take you to the EMC or the back end of the website. So we will just start with reports. Last time we talked about the event center and the customer service, but let's go ahead and click that 4th tab, reports. And once you click on that tab, you'll see a list of a whole bunch of reports. I will start by saying you can't screw up any of these reports. They are preloaded from us at ACS. So the only thing you can change is the date range that you want to run the report, if that is an option. So don't be afraid to run as many reports as you need. It really won't hurt anything if you run a few reports in one day. All right, so as you see, there's a couple reports and they all have different descriptions to them too. They will tell you what each report means. Again, if you're not sure, just run it and you can see what information it gives you and then try a different one if you need to. So as a reminder, all these reports do contain sensitive contact information. So we really do not want you to share them to people who may not need them. You can delete any old files, or you should delete any old files after You do not need them, and please do not share or store these lists on your computers. You can always run a different report when you need one. For example, you can run a Luminary report on Monday and then delete it once you're done, and then pull the report again next Monday if you need it. So we're going to go ahead into a Luminaria report. That is number 7 there. And click Run Report. And on this front page, there's nothing to edit, so we're going to click Next. And we can scroll all the way down. There's nothing to change here, and we're going to hit Run Report. So once you hit Run, it's going to have a little spinny wheel and shows that it is queuing or running. And once it's complete, it's going to pull up the report. So this one just has one thing to show you. It might have a multitude of things, so you can scroll down. But if we want to save this information or put it into Excel, we can hit that blue little floppy disk save icon. And this pop-up window will come. And there you can save it as a CSV, a PDF, or HTML. If you want it into an Excel, you're going to do the CSV. And as Kayla's showing, it is going to save as a Excel, and it will open up for you. The Excels are a bit easier to read than the website on the EMC, so I will always just save it as a CSV or Excel file too.
Can I ask a question here?
Yeah.
One thing I noticed on the reporting lately, especially for this year, didn't do it last year, but if you have a lot of names in your reports, used to have, when you clicked on the CSV, it used to have a pause where it wouldn't let you do it until it completed a download. But lately I've noticed that if you push that too early, it doesn't download everything on your list. So you have to kind of let it sit there on that pop-up screen that you said, and then wait for, I don't know, an indeterminate amount, because it doesn't tell you when it's done, and then push the button. Otherwise, you will not get the complete list.
That is correct. So
We have noticed that.
yeah, it is a known issue. They are working with Blackbaud to kind of fix that. What we have been told is to give like a 10-minute pause and then do the download to let it fully download until they can fix it.
So if you're unsure whether or not you're getting your full list, if you've waited long enough, if you go to either this report results link or, yep, this one, it will tell you how many rows should be in your report. And then you can check how many lines are in your Excel spreadsheet to make sure that you have everything.
Yeah, I kind of went the other way. I actually looked at it from the screen that shows you the list, and then I just make sure the names are all listed there, because it's in the same order that it shows up on that other screen. But it looks like they took the flag out. There used to be a flag internal on the system, guys. So there used to be some kind of little note that said, hey, it's not downloaded yet, you can do it later. So hopefully they'll get that fixed, because that's a real pain in the butt.
It is. Totally agree with that.
That's good to point out. I've seen that a lot when participant reports that are probably the longest reports you'll have. They might take the longest amount of time to come around to you. So thanks for bringing that up. Awesome. A reminder for Luminary reports as we're here, if you run it right before your event or the day of your event, please don't forget to turn off the Luminaria store in the Event Center tab by removing the source code. And we're going to go to show that. We went to Event Center, and we're going to go to the Edit E-commerce options. Yep. And you can delete that store ID to turn off the Luminaria store. That is important because during the day of your event, if you run a report and maybe someone does go on the website and still buys one after you pull that report, you won't see that Luminaria. So a good best practice there is to turn off the store and then only take in-person Luminaria purchases as the event's going along. All right, so let's go back to our reports tab. And we're going to look at a team summary report. That would be number 2. Gonna hit run report. This report does let us pick a date range if we do want it. So maybe you're looking at the teams registered in the past 30 days. You would change that. Awesome. Perfect. Thank you, Kayla. And then we'll hit finish or next there. And next again. Next again. And go to run the report. And we're going to wait a while, like we mentioned, so it can do its magic. And maybe here there's no data found. So that is a good example.
I maybe didn't pick the best website for this one because they do all their team sign up in the fall.
That's okay. That's all right.
Hold on. Here's what it should look like.
Good, good.
Kayla, while that's running, do you want to check the waiting room?
I don't see anyone.
Perfect.
All right, so that one has pulled up and it looks like we've got a handful of teams there. Just like the other report, it'll show a bunch of columns. And again, we have the options to save it on that top left and that blue icon, or to download it also. And there she'll pick the CSV option and it'll become an Excel file. And there it'll be easier to manipulate and to use. So, all right, let's go back to that reports file. If we want to see a report we've already run, we can find those under the report results tab. So Kayla's gonna click there. And those are the ones that we've previously run. And it says completed, and we see different examples in that. Those have done, and you also can click view or download, so go back, but I would recommend pulling a new report if you need it. Awesome. Cool. All right, so remember earlier when I mentioned that getting access to prior years of EMC might be important? Well, if you want to run a report of teams from last year or a different criteria about last year's information, you'll need access to that year. So you can click the switch to another event that Kayla is hovering over. And you'll see here, she searched up the search term Oklahoma. She found Relay for Life of Oklahoma. And then there's one that says Relay for Life of Oklahoma, University of Oklahoma 2022. The 2022 event would be the last year. And if I wanted to use that, I would hit manage this event. And this is last year's info. And so if I wanted to pull, say, last year's teams or last year's participants to do a recruiting challenge, I would go and run that report. Same steps.
Sorry, can I ask another question? So do we have to do a special request to get the previous year? Because I know we've been tasking Sharon to get us the information as we need it, and we saved that file that she sends us just because of that. So do I have to submit the form again and say I need last year's event?
Yes. So Cecil, when you go, you'll go to this form again, even if you already have access, log in, and instead of picking 2023, you'll pick 2022. Okay. And it sounds like Sharon's your staff partner. She'll give you the 6-digit code to request for the 2022 website.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. All right. if there's not another question here, I'll say my little spiel about privacy and information. So
I do have a question. So
yeah, sure.
on that in the EMC access form, so does that mean we have to do the click for every year we want and get the code?
Yes.
Thank you.
If you had access last year, though, you don't have to request it again. So if
Okay.
you were the online chair last year, it'll automatically be in there when you go to switch to another event. But if you are new and this is the first year you've had access, you'll need to request prior years.
Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
I'll also say on that form, you can put in multiple years on this one form. So you put in there at the top for the first one, and then you could do on the second one, you could do last year, and so on and so forth.
Thank you.
Great questions. All right, so a bit about privacy. A lot of these reports do contain people's personal information, things like email addresses, physical addresses, their survivor status. And we don't want our information shared incorrectly, and neither do our registered participants or our donors too. So just because we can download a list of email addresses through the EMC reports doesn't mean we should send them all an email from our personal Gmail account. The reason why is because there's a law kind of against that. It is called the CAN-SPAM Act, and the American Cancer Society can be fined up to $50,000 for each email if the access is abused. So that means if you send an email to 100 people, all email addresses can be subject to that fine each. So there are ways we can get around that to use that information correctly. And we will show you that through the second tab, event emails. Kayla, I can turn it over to you.
Yes. Well, actually, I'm going to answer Dalma's question real quick. They have pulled information out of prior year reports, like email addresses for last year's participants and stuff, to help minimize our risk of people pulling reports and then just using them to send emails and stuff. So the other thing that our website does that is really handy is when people opt out of receiving emails, they unsubscribe, the website automatically sorts that for us. So we're getting ready to set up emails. And that is a beautiful thing about the website, is it will sort out people who have said they don't want to receive emails from ACS and automatically exclude them from the mailing list. So, and then I'm actually going to throw it over to Rebecca.
Hello. So before we get into the parts that I'm going to do, I want to point out at the top part of the top part, and oh my gosh, y'all, it's been a day. I'm so sorry. In the top part of your EMC at the top, there are several great resources, but right now we're going to pull up the email calendar. So this calendar has several tabs along the bottom. As you can see.
It's still loading. Sorry, Rebecca.
No, it's okay. Well, I'm like, I
go.
don't have my glasses on and it's like real small. So I'm like, I think it's down there. So there are several tabs along the bottom that will tell you when the national emails are scheduled to go out. And And if we go to the far right of the tabs, there's the RFL local email tab that has a list of all the preloaded emails and autoresponders. And then this is a great way to see what's already been set up before you actually dive into EMC. So now we're going to go back to EMC, and we're going to take a look at the autoresponder section. And so it's actually under the event emails tab. You'll find autoresponders. And So these are something that if someone signs up, if they hit their next fundraising milestone, is the email that automatically gets sent that's triggered by that. So if you click preview, you can actually see the preloaded message. And so I think this one's like, thanks for being a team cat. I mean, I can't read that small.
Put your glasses on, girl.
So you can edit this. When you click edit, it'll send you to a box where you can enter information. So this is where you would enter whatever you would want it to say. So you can't actually, you can add information to the pre-written message, but you cannot delete anything that's already pre-written. So, and it would go at the bottom of the message. So this would be like if you wanted to put your a link to your social media, any meeting dates, any large upcoming fundraisers, etc. And then this is also a reminder because, oh, yep, that's where it would go. And also
I'm
right
not
there.
seeing her- I'm sorry to cut you off. I'm not seeing her screen. Is everybody else seeing her screen?
Yes, is everybody seeing my screen?
Yes,
I
am.
I am.
Maybe try logging out and
Yeah.
I'll let you back in.
Yeah, I'll log out. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Hard to read. It's like an eye test.
So you can't actually edit the message, but you can just add to it. So you could do any of your meeting dates, upcoming events, social media, if y'all have links to that. But also at the bottom of those emails, it's going to say like sincerely, Kayla Boswell, and contact information. So that's going to be the information that is in your event coordinator properties. And so in your event center and then event coordinator properties. So this person's information is going to be what's going to appear there. So most of the time, especially in the UES world, this should be a volunteer because you're going to have the most up-to-date information about your event, where like me as a staff, I'm not going to necessarily have that most up-to-date information. So it's always good to check there, because when people get that email, they'll be like, oh, they can respond because it will have your email address on there. But you can have the most up-to-date information. And that's all I have. If anyone has questions about the autoresponder and the email calendar.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you say UVS, what are those initials for?
UES, so that's the Unified Event Support. So that's
Okay.
the remotely staffed event.
That's us.
Fall under that umbrella.
Yeah, that's our team.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That was an easy question. I'm glad I could answer it. And I have
Okay,
no idea who.
I have a question.
Okay.
What's up, Donna?
Okay, so like, not that I've had very many, well, maybe I've got 5 teams. So when each of those teams signed up, the team captain got an email talking about thank you for signing up to be a team captain.
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I didn't do that. The system automatically does that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so Kayla, pull up the preview on the forming a team.
Oh, okay. This one.
So that would have been like the email that would have been automatically sent.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. It's just like how you get your email about when you order something on Amazon and it auto sends you your email. It's kind of like that.
So if you
Okay.
look on if you look on the email calendar, it'll tell you like registering for a participant, it's triggered by an action and the autoresponder email is sent. So when they do something or like when they hit 50% of their goal, the second that they get that donation, they'll get the email that says you're 50% to goal. Congratulations, kind of thing. You don't have to worry about anything with those unless you want to add something to them.
Okay. And I mean, okay, like where you were showing how you can add something, when would be an example I would do that?
I've had for community events when they already have their team captain meetings scheduled or something like that, or they want to share their social media when their website is set up in the fall, they will go ahead and say, join us either specific dates or like the third Thursday of every month for our team captain meetings at this place at this time.
Okay.
But you can edit them at any point throughout the year too. So like right now, if you're doing a challenge for anyone who signs up and raises $50 between now and the end of March, you could go and put on the thank you for registering email. You could go and put that info in there. So when people register, they'll already know that your relay is doing that challenge. You have to remember to take it off later. It won't automatically fall off, but if you keep track of it, you could do it that way too.
Okay.
All right.
I do have one more question on that. So this is more for long term. So when we switch event campaigns, do those reset?
They do. Yes.
Okay.
You'd have to go in and do it every year.
Okay, all right.
Jennifer, are there sample emails already generated for meeting reminders? Let's go look. That's a perfect segue. The rest of the emails in your EMC are going to be your coaching emails that you can set up and send to your participants or your past participants. There are basically two different categories of emails. You have your coaching emails, which are templates that can either be sent as is or customized for your event. And then you have the option to create custom messages from scratch that are totally about your event. There are a lot of messages in this list. As you can see, there's 90 different email templates right now. So one handy feature is our search bar. So if you want to set up a recruitment email and you want to see the options for what kind of recruitment emails we have, you can type recruitment in there and hit search. And then it narrows this list down to 28. So each of these emails will tell you like the name of the email, a brief description of what it is. If you want to see what any of them are, you can click preview and it will show you what's going to be in the email. Pretty easy, very nice. The one kicker on this is, and all of us, including staff like myself who have been around using this program since we had Convio, get caught every once in a while. We start looking through a list for an email and we can't find it because this search word that you put in the search bar stays there until you delete it. So there's been a lot of times that all of us are like, we can't find that fundraising email we want. And it's because there is something typed into this box that doesn't fall under that search word, and then we can't find it. So if you cannot find an email that you've created or one that you want to use, make sure that this box is empty, or you can just click show all and it'll pull your entire list back up. So for the templates, we have three basic types of templates. We have recruitment emails, we have engagement emails, which talk about fundraising and things going on with your event, and we have challenge emails. ACS has designed some kind of standard challenges that you can use for your events, like raise $48 in 48 hours, we're in the home stretch kind of thing. We have templates for all of those emails. So let's get to it. Jennifer, you had asked about sample meeting reminders. If you want to search through this list, you can do the same thing. Meeting, looks like we don't have any in there right now, but your staff could probably help you draft a meeting reminder email if you need one. All right, so I'm just going to pick a random email. Here's one that is a good one to go out right after your websites go live. It's the RFL recruitment websites are live. You'll notice that with all of these messages, they only have a copy and preview. These are the basic messages. The website does not allow you to change the template. So what you do is you create a copy of the template. By clicking copy, you can actually rename it. I'm going to rename this one test, so we know that it's the one that I was messing with tonight. You can rename it, you can change the purpose, but all you have to do is click copy message. And then usually what the website will do is it'll pull the message that you want to work on to the very top of your message list. I will say if you search for a recruitment email and then you change the name to remove recruitment out of your list, you do need to hit show all or delete recruitment out of here so you can find it. But now you have some new options over in the action section. Edit is where you're going to want to go first because that will actually get you into the email. This first page just gives you your basic message information. If you want to change the title of the message again, you don't have to. You can change the description. You don't have to. Usually leave the type alone. That kind of helps our web team track what kind of emails are being sent from the websites and stuff. Duplicate suppression, leave checked on yes. What this basically means is if someone has their email in the system multiple times, the system will go through and take the duplicates out. And instead of sending them 2 copies of the same message, it will only send them 1. So we leave that on. And then you click next. And this takes you to kind of your basic information for what it's going to look like in people's inboxes. The default for the sender name is Relay for Life. Now you can put what you want in here. I usually like to put a volunteer name, especially if we want, because people will recognize that. People at OU know that Sammy is one of the chairs, so you can change it to Sammy Relay for Life of OU. The big thing you need to do is leave the sender email address alone. Most people, when they sign up for Relay, their email will add online event support to their safe folder, so the messages don't wind up in spam. What you can do, though, to make sure if you have any replies to the emails, is change this reply to email address. You have to add something in here. You can put your email, you can put your staff's email, whoever, if someone hits reply to that message to ask a question or something, whoever is going to be fielding that question, put their email in there. And then you can change the subject if you want to. Most of our all of our templates already have a subject in there, but if you want to spice it up or if you want to change it or something like that, you're more than welcome to. And then click next. So this page might seem a little weird because you only have 2 logo options and they're absolutely the same. All of our recruitment messages have the new ACS logo at the top. So as long as one of these 2 new boxes is checked, it will put the logo up. If you would like there to not be a logo at the top, or if you can click blank stationery. Then click next. One of the very nice things about our email system is it's called WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So this dialog box works very much like a Word document, and what you are seeing on here is what you are going to be, what is going to come in the email. So you'll see some funny things in some of the templates, like today's the day, and then you've got brackets with some info in there. That's because this template is automatically going to pull the title of your event name and fill it in automatically. So for the templates, some of them don't need any customization. Some of them need more customization. You just kind of have to look and see. It'll say customized on a lot of them. Read through it, make sure it says what you want it to say. If you want to add anything to it, like don't forget about our team captain meeting, something like that, you can add it in anywhere just by clicking your cursor in. Maybe not the best place to have the cursor in. All of these buttons up here at the top work like a Word document. You can make things bold, italicize, underline. You can copy and paste things in. You can change the alignment. You can change the color. Whatever you want, like whatever changes you want to make to it, you can go ahead and make. This is another example of where there's information it'll automatically pull from the website. And on all of our template emails, they are set up to be signed, like the sign off is coming from whoever is listed as the event coordinator. So not to be a shock to anybody, we do change those to volunteers a lot. So when we send out emails, if you do not change this information, it's like right now this will populate as Sammy, her phone number, her email address, and the name of the event. If you are wondering what your email is looking like as you go, you can always hit save. And then this preview button will pull up a dialog box that will show you what your email is going to look like so far. So here's what we added. Don't forget to come to kickoff on March 17th at the Huff. And then see it populate, went ahead and populated Sammy's info on there. The system, just fair warning, the system does time out after a while. So if you're working on something, hit save often, like you would on a Word document anyway, just to make sure that you don't lose all of the work that you put into any of the emails. So once you're good with everything that's on here, you'll click next. And our website does have an option for people to receive emails in plain text format, so it won't have the graphics and the pretty colors and all that kind of stuff. If you've made any changes on the HTML page, all you have to do is click convert to plain text, and it will update this box to add whatever you added. Then you'll hit next again. I know the run spam report button looks really appeasing to check what kind of spam rating your message is going to get. It does not actually work. So don't worry about hitting it. Just leave it alone. But this next one is very important. You have the option to send a test message to yourself, to whoever else on your committee needs to be checking the message so they can preview it before you actually send it. I strongly, highly want to tell you, please do send yourself a test message so you can see what the email looks like before you send it out. You might catch a spelling error or something that went wrong. And the system's pretty quick about getting you a test message. If I can get over to my email real quick. Okay, so it will show up test message from, but then you can check to make sure that whatever sender name you put in there is what you want it to look like. You can check your subject, make sure that's what you want it to look like, and then you can check the message. You can check the hyperlinks to make sure that they're linking like they're supposed to. Make sure everything looks like you want it to make sure this email is perfect before you send it to all of your participants. Then you'll click next. Once you are done editing everything, you approve the message. And once this little green checkbox shows up, you are good to hit finish. So that is how you set up one of the template emails. We will move to the process of actually delivering it after we talk about how to design custom messages. So everybody with me so far? I haven't checked the chat in a couple minutes.
Yes, I do
Yes.
have one. I do have one question. Those
Yeah,
tags
Cecil,
that
what's up?
were in those tags that were in the template, you know, the down at the bottom that pulled the system information. Is that information where what those tags mean in the resource? Because I haven't seen them before, and I happened to notice it when we did your one of your challenges. We used that template to send it out, and I said, "Oh, that's really nice. We could use that for our the thing you're going to show us next." So,
You know, I don't know for sure. Joy, do you know?
If you can get the tags into your custom messages.
yeah,
Yeah.
is there a list of what those tags are and how to use them?
I'm pretty sure there are in the builder, but we can look at it here in just a minute.
Okay, excellent question though.
If not, it may be in the guidebook.
Yeah, it's because I've gone through that because I'm telling you that resource is an awesome thing because there's sometimes, especially when you don't do it in a while, you forget how to do certain things and you can go there and it shows you exactly what you need to do. The website and everything that's a great resource. Use it.
It is. We'll actually go over all of the resources available for online support before we end the call tonight. So, all right, so now we're going to talk about creating a custom message, which is basically a blank email message that you can do whatever you want to with. But first, I'm going to show you how to do a couple things to make your messages prettier, basically. You have the option to add images into your message, and you also have the option to include documents, flyers, sponsorship packets, like whatever you want to include into an email. You have the option to do that, but you have to do a little pre-work before you, and I suggest you start doing it before you start typing your email, so you have everything ready to go to just type your email. We'll backtrack a little bit, but under your Event Center tab, there is this link at the very bottom that says Manage Event Library. This is where you will upload any images you want to include in emails and any documents you would like to send in emails. So all you do is click there, and then you'll see a documents list and an image list. So upload new document. If you have a flyer you want to include or something along those lines, this is for Word documents, PDFs, those kind of like file formats. Where's my stuff? Okay, so all you do is select your file and click upload. You can change the name if you need to, but then you hit next. And then you can type here, whatever you want it to be. You don't have to add a description. You don't have to add keywords. And then just click next, and there you go. Same for an image. It's a very similar process. You click the image list and then upload new image. The images you name first. So let's say one of these sponsorship benefits a lot of our relay offer is your big sponsors included at the bottom of the participant thank you email. So here's a way that you can upload your sponsor images to be able to include them in those emails. If you've uploaded them from the front side of the website, unfortunately, they don't automatically pull over. So you will need to go to the event library and do this. But all you have to do is put in a name, choose a file. Norman Regional, and then click upload. One thing you'll notice is it will put the image in here in the file size that you uploaded it from. The bigger, the higher resolution for the file, the easier it is going to, the more clear it's going to be looking when you put it in the email and stuff. So you'll click finish, and then you'll be able to see it in your list. All right, so now we'll go back and let's build a custom message. It's going to be really short. The steps are very similar. You'll click coaching emails again, but you'll go, instead of picking one out of the list, you'll hit create new message. And this will give you a completely from scratch blank template, blank page, not template, blank page to start typing an email on. You can name it whatever you want. Nobody sees this but you. Add a description if you want to remember what this is later. Don't worry about selecting a type, but do hit duplicate suppression. It will give you this warning asking you if you're really sure that you want to make sure you suppress the duplicates. Just click OK. It'll move that to yes and click next. Sender name, same thing. I'm going to say this one is from Sammy at OU. Leave the sender address alone, but the reply to email, we're going to make this me this time. So if people come back to me, and then you can pick your subject. And then click next. Here's where you can play a little bit with the messages. It doesn't automatically pick a logo for you, but let's say you have the image that you uploaded, you want at the top of your email. You would want to click blank stationery to leave, so it will leave space to include that. Otherwise, you can pick one of the logos. And it doesn't matter which one you pick, they are exactly the same. Click next. And then here's your blank slate. So you can start just type whatever message. If you're sending a reminder about a meeting, if you're wanting to do, a reminder about a fundraiser coming up and include the flyer, anything like that, My ability to talk and type is not always that great. So here, we'll add some message in here. So any of these formatting options you can choose. You can even add a table into your message. If you want to, I've done this before, because this is the only way to get columns in an email. So here's how you add an image into, I clicked that a little fast, sorry. Here's how you add an image that you've uploaded into your event library into the email. This little tree up here takes you to your image library. Then you have your image list where it will give you all of the images that you have uploaded in your library. We'll click the fall shirt picture and then you can click insert. Oklahoma apparently did a challenge in the fall where that was the t-shirt that you could win. So you can make some columns by using the table format.
Okay, the table format, where did you click to get that?
It's this bottom, but it's the far left button on the bottom row, Donna.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. And if you mouse over some of these things and just click them, like you can change, here's where you change the text. It's the A, it defaults to that little gray. You can highlight text. The little tree is what helps you get your pictures. Okay, so we're gonna click out of the box. The other thing that you can do is, it's not really attaching documents, but you can include links to documents in your email. So if you have a flyer that you want to share, all you have to do is type what you want to say, check. Since we've uploaded it to our event library, it'll be available for us. So type whatever you want it to say, check out our levels here. Then you highlight whatever words you want to turn into a hyperlink. So we'll just hyperlink here and then you'll see these little chains up here. You want the one that's connected, and when your mouse is not as big as mine is, you'll see that it says insert edit link. So if you click that button, and pull down this link list. If you scroll all the way to the bottom, it will show you what documents you have uploaded into the library.
And there's all those tags right there.
Yeah. Those are placeholder pages.
The ones at the top.
Okay. If you're typing custom message and you want to remind people to go back and make a donation, if you want them to start their team, you can pick. These are, if you want them to go to their participant center, all you have to do is pick one of these and it'll automatically insert the link to like their personal participant center, which is kind of nice. But we'll do the sponsor book. So select that. If you want don't have to set a target, but if you would like it to open in the same window, you can click open in a new window. And then all you have to do is hit insert. And then it creates your hyperlink for you. This is like our how to attach documents. I know when you're in your like personal email, you just attach it straight from your computer, but since we don't have that option on the website, you create a hyperlink instead to any of the documents that you want to send people.
So one quick thing, Kayla, can you go back to inserting an image?
I'm getting there.
Okay.
If you all remember, I uploaded that very large, very wide image of the Norman Regional Sponsorship logo. So your standard email is going to be 600 pixels wide. Whatever size you uploaded into the website is the size that is going to put into your email, but you can change that before you insert the picture. This is not well worded. Okay, so we're going to put in that sponsor logo I did. You click the tree, and then from your image list, I'm going to pick Norman Regional logo. And then here under dimensions, you'll see two little boxes. If you put 600 in there, it will make it the width of the email. So the same width as the banner, essentially. If you want it smaller than that, let's say we need to get a couple logos in there, you could make it 300. However wide you want it to be, just know that 600 is the standard width for your email. And then hit insert. And it made it nice and small for us, so it fits on the page.
And I will say, if you put a number in the height column, it will stretch it and skew it. So just put 1 in the left column.
I have a
Yep.
question.
Yes.
What if you have two sponsors or two names? So you can
You
put them next
can
to each
put them-
other?
Yep, you can put them next to each other. You can put them on different lines. However, so we'll see what this fall fundraiser banner looks like. We're going to make this one 200 wide. So you hit insert again, and it'll just place them right next to each other. I don't know if this is a best practice for everyone. I
Thank you.
usually do it for my relays. If I have a lot of logos, I will go into Canva and create a 600 pixel wide blank template. And then I'll place all my logos on there and download that as one single image and put it into the website. So then all I have to do is put one image in instead of a bunch and try to figure out sizing and stuff. But you can put images next to each other like that, Annette.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, you can click the preview, click save as you go, especially on these custom messages. You don't want to lose your work. But you can preview them at any time too and see what you got so far. So like, here's our link. Here's the images we've put in. There's a table to get things stacked next to each other. All that kind of stuff. And then again, you hit next. Convert to plain text. It'll pull your entire message over. The kicker will be, it will take out all of the images you've inserted and any of the links that you created. It will add it as a link right there instead of being a hyperlink that they can click on in this message. So you'll hit next again. Send yourself a test message. Don't forget to do that. Make sure it looks exactly how you want it to look. All of your hyperlinks work, etc., etc. Next. Approve the message and then click finish. So those are the two basic types of emails that you can set up. You can use one of the templates or you can use a custom message. And now we will actually get into how to send that email. And I am going to hand it over to Eric.
All right, good evening. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. We're in the home stretch here with getting ready to send the emails out to everyone. So now that we've built the email, we've chosen the template, we've done all the customizations, you have sent yourself a test message to make sure everything's good, and you've hit the approve button. Now you're ready to begin delivery. So when you click on the begin delivery button, it's going to bring up a menu. As you see on here, there's several different buttons that you can select. There's the current event participants. That's the people who are currently registered for this year's event. There's the previous event participants, who are people that from last year that have not returned. And then there's the current event donors and the previous event donors. Leave those alone, please. Do not touch those. Do not touch those. And then the bottom one is groups created by this event. This is personally my favorite area to go to, and so we'll select that and we'll hit next. So what you see on the left-hand side is a whole list of categories of groups from our email, going all the way back from 2019 to current. So if you scroll through that list, you can choose the groups that you want to add to your email distribution list. Some of it might be a little bit confusing because there's a lot of different categories, but the tags that you want to look at are participants. So if, for example, you want to add participants from 2023 to your list, you can highlight all of those and hit add. If you then wanted to add another group, you could highlight that and hit add as well. If you want to just blast out a message to all the participants that have registered from the event from 2019 to current, you can hit add all, and it just slides everything over from left to right. So everything that's in the left column is the groups that are available. Everything that's in the right column are those that you've selected to go. Now, I want to give you a little word of warning. You do slide over. There's a couple of groups that you want to always remove from that distribution list. And that is your donors. So you can remove that. And then and you have to look through the years, because sometimes you'll see multiple years have donors associated with it. And you also want to remove event managers. Event managers will always be in the current year of Relay. So in this case, the 23 year of Relay has the event managers group. So why don't you want to send to the event managers group? It's because everyone who has access to the EMC, regardless of whatever event it is, will receive your email if you add them. So your Relay's email will come to myself, it'll come to Kayla, it'll come to Patty, it'll go to anyone and everyone who has EMC access. So just please make sure you remove the event managers piece. So once you've kind of selected those groups that you want, now you can go ahead and hit the next button. And what this is going to bring up is this is going to bring up a list, again, showing you exactly who you're targeting in this email. And then you will see some options. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you're going to see a long list. You're going to see the option to send immediately. And what that'll do is that'll send your approved email to the list that you've selected, and it will just blast it out. But let's talk for a second about what happens if you don't want to send it out right now. It's almost 9 o'clock at night Eastern time. You finished your email. You do not want to send it right away. You want to send it tomorrow, for example. So you would hit the schedule button. And what this does is this allows you to custom choose a time and date for your email. And so if you want to send it tomorrow at 8 a.m., you select those options and you would go ahead and hit finish. And then what you'll see is that if you'll see right at the top there where it says schedule, it's scheduled for March 3rd, 8 a.m. Now, please note, Blackbaud operates on Central Standard Time. So if you're in Eastern, Pacific, Mountain, anything outside of Central, you want to make that adjustment to make sure that you're sending the email at the time that you choose. So from there, you can select the option that says send at the scheduled time, and your email will go into the queue, and at that time, it will blast it out to everyone that you've selected. There's also, you can also look at how to manage your do not email groups. So if you select that, this will ask you a question of who do you not want this to go to? So for example, on your previous list, you selected, you wanted to go to everyone who, you selected everyone. You got everybody on your list, but maybe you decided, okay, I don't want to send it to the people who are currently registered. So in which case you could select that top radio button, hit next, and it will bring up that same list. So this is everyone in 2023 who is registered for the event. You could just hit exclude all, and then you hit the finish button, and it will add it to that.
Since we did this since we selected these groups the first time, because we just added everybody over there, it will give you this message letting you know that you've excluded one of the groups you said you wanted to send to. Yeah. But if you're using this for like a recruitment email and you click that past participants only, this will help you exclude people who are already signed up.
Yeah, thank you very much. So that is in essence how you send your email. So just do a quick refresher. You would select your groups. You can send immediately, or you can send at a scheduled time. Now, sending at the scheduled time is great if you have a campaign that you're doing where maybe you have an email going out every day or every other day for a challenge or something leading up to the event. You can pre-script those emails, and then you can arrange for them to be sent at a specific day and time ahead of time. So you don't have to be sitting right in front of your computer sending the email at exactly 9 p.m. or whatever your target time is. So please feel free to use that scheduled tool. It's fantastic. I use it early and often. So then from there, once you've sent your email, you're probably going to want to know later on, okay, who got it? What happened to it? So from there, you can go to your event emails, and instead of your message list, you'll select your delivery list. Now this will show you all the emails that have been sent out, and it will show you at a quick view the number that have been sent and what the open rate is. And so if you sent out to, I believe the one says almost 700, it had a 44% open rate. So a good number of people opened it, a very good number. If you wanted to get more specific information, you click on the review button. And that just dives a little bit deeper. That shows the number of people that it was sent to, the rate. It shows people that have taken action on it. So it gives you a little bit more of the metrics around your email and a little bit more information. Now, this is also a great way that if you have sent an email and you go back and you review the number that was sent, and the numbers maybe way lower than you expected. Like you thought you were sending this email out to everyone, and all of a sudden you look and it says it went to 20 people. There's a very good chance that there was an error in the groups that you selected. So it's a great way to be able to double check whether or not your email went out successfully, or maybe you need to go back and double check the groups that it was sent out in case there was an error there. So that pretty much wraps up how to send the email once you're done.
I think we lost Kayla.
Yes, I noticed that too. She was frozen for a second. So
Well, the good thing is we're like at the end, so
it was actually perfect timing.
there she is.
Hi, Kayla.
I don't know what happened there. Sorry, hang on. Let me get it.
I think I have to give you the, yeah.
Yep. So Kayla, we got past the sending part. We were just going to kind of start to wrap it up and recap to talk about those resources. So, just to kind of point you once again to some of the resources that we have available. We at the top of the EMC pages, there at the top of the EMC page, you're going to see great resources, and people have referenced that before. The EMC guidebook is a great step-by-step guide to be able to go through a lot of the steps for customizing your website, for drafting emails,
Sharing, Kayla.
and for also troubleshooting some of those issues that you may have. So the EMC guidebook is great. As well, on relayforlife.org, there's an EMC support page that, yep, there we go.
Is it sharing the right page now?
Yes.
I'm
we got
really
the right
sorry,
one.
guys. I got a little flustered.
So the EMC support page is fantastic. It has a lot of step-by-step guides. It basically takes, in many cases, the giant EMC guidebook and dices it up into much more bite-sized pieces for you to be able to just look at a quick glance and see what you need to do. So we also have the nationwide Relay for Life online share network, which is a fantastic Facebook page. So great way to connect with peers, a great way to get answers to questions, and just a great resource for you. So, and on acsresources.org, under the Relay for Life, guess what we've got here? We've got the Let's Talk call series. So all the calls that we're having and are recorded are posted to this website. So if you forgot something, or if maybe you have questions, or maybe there's another member of your ELT that couldn't make it, you can point them right here, and they'll be able to see the recap of all the calls and all the topics that we talked about.
And the recording from this call will switch out to be posted right here as soon as we get it done in the morning.
Very good. And Kayla, there was a question that came up in the chat about what the Facebook page was again. Could you mind bringing that up?
Yes, it's the Nationwide Relay for Life online chair network. And if you just search on Facebook for it and ask to join, they will add you.
And the link to it is also at the top of the EMC page.
Yes.
Right there on the left. On the left.
Oh, there it is. Yep.
So just in closing, want to just say thank you to everyone for joining us tonight. Our next training call is going to be on March 13th, and it's going to be covering recognition. And on March 16th, it's going to be covering survivors and caregivers. So I hope you'll be able to join us for those two great topics. Now, just before we wrap up for the night, we just want to open it up to see if there's any last questions.
No question,
you-
but thank you very much for you gave us some tips. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 years, and you gave me like 3 or 4 little tips that I was not aware of. And I don't have to, the one thing you did say, and you don't, if you've already been an online chair before, you don't need to go back to the past years because it's going to have it already in there. You don't have to submit again. So definitely great there's lots of tips that were in this, and I hope that they leave it up there so that people can use it. Because the hands-on is actually helps a lot to learn.
Yes, it does. If anyone thinks of questions later, your staff partners know how to do all this stuff too, so don't hesitate to ask if you're not super comfortable just clicking around with stuff. But thank you again, everybody, for hopping on tonight.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Okay.
Good night, Kayla.
Night.